Hello everybody, hopefully you are doing well. In today's video we are gonna talk about the verb lose. In the past lost. We are going to study it in such a way that will help us use it while speaking. Listen my brother, listen my sister. If you fail to use something while speaking, it means that you don't understand this thing very well. You don't know this thing very well. What you need to do in this case, you need to go back or you need to come back to this particular thing and try to spend more time with it. Why not? Putting it in different, multiple, various situations. Because I believe that situations are very powerful, very helpful when it comes to understanding something very well, when it comes to exploring something fully and completely. If you want to get sure, if you want to get certain and even confident about the vocabulary you have, you need to put them in various different situations. Because situations tell more about things. Situations will help you explore more about your vocabulary. Situations will help you discover, uncover the different meanings of one single vocabulary or of the same vocabulary. Albert Einstein said in this regard, if you cannot explain something to a 5 years old, it means that you don't understand it in the first place, which means you need to go back to it and try to learn it very well. The same is true when it comes to speaking. If you fail to use something while speaking, it means that you don't understand it very well. You need to go back to it and try to learn it again. Listen, my friend, why the vast majority of language learners fail to use whatever they learn? It's because they don't understand the psychology of our brain. You need to study how our brain works, how our brain functions, how our brain performs. How does the brain of a human being function? Our brain always pushes us to go to something new or to move to something new and easy. This is what our brain wants to do all the time. This is what fascinates, what inspires our brain. When the learning gets bored, our brain convinces us or does its best to convince us, to persuade us to move to something new and easy, even though we don't understand the previous ones or vocabulary or things very well. Listen, learning starts when boredom begins. This is what you need to understand about language learning or about learning in general. As I said before, you need to read or you need to study how your brain works, because our brain doesn't want to spend more time with the same thing. And this is the key to be able to speak easily and effortlessly. The only way you can do that is by spending more time with things, to explore more about them. And by spending too much time with things or enough time with things, you will be certain, you will be sure about these things. And when we are sure and confident about something, it means that we can have much control over it, which means that we will be able to use it while speaking. Now, let's dig deeper in this particular verb lose. Let's discover more about this verb. Let's get sure and confident about this verb by putting it in different various situations, because I always believe that situations are very powerful, very useful when it comes to grasping something, when it comes to capturing something fully and completely. The number one situation where we can use lose. I'm going to use the simple past form instead of the infinitive form. Number one situation. This example is very pessimistic. I don't want to start with that, but I will do. Okay, sorry for that. For example, you can say, I lost my father in, for example, World War II, or the second. Okay, I lost my father, which means my father was killed. My father was shot by the enemy, by the opponent in the war number two. Okay, number two situation, I'm going to give you another example that is similar to this one, but the meaning of lost is different. For example, you can say, I lost my kids in the supermarket yesterday. You see the difference? Here, I lost my kids doesn't mean my kids were killed or shot. No, because here I'm talking about supermarket, I'm not talking about war. War is a place or is an event where people are often killed or are always killed, but the supermarket, there is no killing, there is no, for example, aggressive, for example, actions or behavior. Okay, what do you mean by I lost my kids in the supermarket? Which means I didn't find my kids in the supermarket. I didn't know where they were, which means, and I called the police to help me find my kids in the supermarket. Okay, are you following me? This is how we should learn things. This is how we should address things to be able to use them while speaking, while communicating with someone. We need to get sure, we need to get certain and even confident about anything we come to learn while the learning process. And we need not to have any kind of doubt about it. Okay, beforehand, early on, while the learning process. One more situation we can say, I lost my wallet, for example, on my way home or on my way work. I lost my wallet, which means my wallet was stolen by someone or was fell down or fallen down without realizing, without knowing. Is it clear? This is what we mean by I lost my wallet. One more situation we can say, I lost confidence, for example. You can also lose confidence. For example, while giving a speech at school yesterday. Okay, I lost my confidence, which means I didn't feel confident. Okay, which means I felt very shy, which means I didn't know how to speak to this large, for example, audience or attendance. Okay, this is what we mean by lose, when we lose confidence, or this is what we mean by losing confidence. You see how the meaning of the same verb changes from one context to another. This is what we need to do. We need to get flexible. We need to get our brain flexible. We need to get our brain, or we need to expose our brain to the different meanings, to the different contexts, to the different situations where this particular verb can show up, where this particular verb can be used. This is how we get sure about something. This is how we get confident about something. This is how we can gain much control over something. Okay? One more situation we can say, I lost my mind when my wife called me liar. Okay? I lost my mind, which means I started acting, behaving like a crazy person. I started doing foolish things, doing stupid things, like screaming, like shouting, like being rude, being mean, using aggressive language and stuff like this. Is it clear? This is what do we mean by losing mind. Okay, one more situation we can say, I lost trust in my friend because he used to lie to me all the time. This is another situation where we can use the verb lose. I lost trust in my friend, which means I didn't trust him anymore or her anymore. Okay, because he is always, or she is always lying to me. He is always feeding me lies. Okay, you see how we study things, you see how we learn things, you see how powerful situations are when it comes to learning vocabulary, when it comes to understanding vocabulary. This is how we get confident, this is how we get sure about things, this is how we remove and eliminate doubt, or all the doubt about things we come to learn. One more situation we can say, I lost my mood. For example, to go on any trip. I lost my mood, which means I didn't have, for example, the desire, or I don't have the desire anymore to go on, to go on, to go on a trip, or to travel, or to move to another place. I just want to stay alone. Is it clear? This is what we mean by I lost my mood. Okay. One more situation we can say, I lost all my money in this unsuccessful and successful project. Okay, I lost all my money in this unsuccessful project. I think this example is very obvious. It doesn't need any explanation or further explanation. Okay, because it's clear by itself. You see how we study things, we see how we should learn things to be able to use them while speaking. Okay, I would like you to tell me if this is an effective way to learn things or not. I would like to hear your opinion. I would like to hear your view, your perspective about this particular method. Okay, I'm always open to new methods. I'm always ready to change my mind if there is something not working with the method I'm sharing, the method I am talking about, I am showing you. Is it clear? Okay, don't feel shy to share your ideas about this method. Okay, however bad or good, I am open to your criticism. Okay, because I always want to improve myself, and I believe that criticism received from other people will be helpful, will play a role in improving myself, in improving my English. Okay, one more situation, we still have some situations where we can use, for example, lose and say, for example, I. Okay, that's enough for this verb. Okay, if you learn this way, if you learn, for example, things in 7 or 8 situations, this is enough for your brain to get sure, to get certain, to get confident, and finally to be able to use it while speaking. So have a nice day. Thank you.